Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Billy Ho here. And yes, Thanksgiving, baby. We're here. Oh, this is one of my favorite weeks on the entire NFL season. You get that 3-game slate, that sweet spot of enough games to make it interesting to where there's ways to be different. And the fewer the games, the better your chances are to narrow down to the best plays. So I really love that. Be sure to check out the timestamps for the games, and you can just go pick out which game you want to go right to. Shout out to my Discord, Billy Ho's Flophouse. I appreciate all you guys once again for all your sharp takes and being engaged and just decorum, class acts all the way around. Can't say good enough things about them. You can join up if you want to. It's totally free. Links in the Discord, and have some fun with us. We're going to do some Thanksgiving chatting. I'll be in the Discord today and tomorrow, and probably Thursday morning. We'll be hammering down some plays. We did a pretty good job last week. We didn't get there because obviously, if you know how these slates have been going this year, it's been chalk, chalk, chalk all day, every day. And then I, go and go heavy. And I really liked that Buffalo was in the dome, moving out of the bad weather. And I just thought that Allen was going to smash. And of course, he didn't get there. I'll get to that when we get to the game because that's first up on the board. And first off, pricing is going to be soft. It was really tight last Sunday. It was like they tightened it up, and then like they whip, and now they're giving you that like good cop bad cop kind of thing. So it's really soft this week. Plus, DraftKings knows their shit. They know their metrics. They do their analysis. Thanksgiving is the biggest football day, probably other than the Super Bowl. And they know new people are going to play. So to get new people in, they make pricing softer, lineups easier to build. That way people are interested and they join up. So there's that. Now, that's all well and good. We're going to get into some games now. So let's take a look at DraftKings. All right. Just real quick, this is kind of silly, but I watched Al Smizzle, and I always watch Al Zeifendeld. Probably just mispronounced his name, so my apologies. But he was clicking individual teams up here. All you have to do is click the dome, and it's going to bring you both teams. Just a little small hack I figured out the other day because I got tired of going through, going click, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. So you just click on, click off. Easy peasy, right? All right, you're welcome. So, obviously, the highest total, the favorite game, first game on the slate is Buffalo at Detroit. And it's a 9.5-point favorite for Buffalo. They just played in Detroit, so they're already there. It's probably the game that's gonna make or break your day. And normally I like to fade this first game just because it's the first game, and if you can just survive it without something crazy happening, then you're that much better. You have that much leverage. It's an easy way to get leverage. I'll play one or two players, like maybe there's a superstar and a defense or something like that, maybe three at the most. And then, you'll have, if somebody loads up on the first game and it busts, then they're done. A lot of people like to do that. They like to get their points out of the way and then let you try to chase them. So that's just one small strategy. But I don't know if you could do that this time around with this being just overwhelmingly the best total game. So it's going to be some fireworks. Now, we all know the Bills can light up the board and beat people down, and they're coming off a less than stellar game where Josh Allen really didn't get there at all. He really ruined my whole day. I mean, I just really thought that it would have been him instead of Jacoby Brissett, that the other way around to get it done. Because even in blowouts, they won, and it was a really competitive game. Actually, that late touchdown, this game was more out of hand than that 8 points will indicate, because they scored the last, I don't know, final minute touchdown to just make it look better. So this game wasn't, it was close in the first half, but they put it out of reach early in the second half. It was really not much of a game going into the fourth quarter. But Josh Allen, you can see he's got the Q tag with the elbow. I actually think that elbow is affecting him. So if you want to take that narrative and fade him, I don't mind that at all. Uh, so now the other angle is Josh Allen's mindset. I believe, even though they won that game easily, is that he did not play well. Diggs did not play well. He didn't even have a target in the first half. They're going to be wanting to get back on the groove. So what better than to play in the dome again and beat down on some Detroit Lions who just came off a blowout win themselves, which would, I would think, make them vulnerable for a butt whooping. But that's just a one angle to play. Obviously, the stack is going to be Diggs and Davis, and like I said, the pricing is softer, so you can go Diggs and Davis, and you're not completely hamstrung. You pay down at defense and tight end, and you're right back in there. So I don't mind that. I'll probably play if you're playing like 10 to 20 lineups. Obviously, you're going to have this stack. You can play it different ways, but if you're doing a single entry or a three max, a single entry, I don't mind going to it. But if I was just playing one lineup, I wouldn't do it. There's other angles to play, and they could get out in front early in this game, or it could be a shootout. It could be 100 points total. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate. The one thing I do like, and I hope you don't hear it too much, but James Cook down here at 4,400, if they do get that blowout going early, like say because Buffalo's defense is pretty sharp. They weren't at their best early on. You notice Cleveland looked like they were running up and down the field on them, but they only ended up scoring 10 points. So they got that early touch. Well, they had 10 points going into like late in the game. And they got a couple of garbage touchdowns like Cooper and Peoples-Jones those were late catch-up touchdowns. But the defense did the job in the second quarter, second half of that game. Singletary had a nice outing. I like Singletary. 5,700 is more than fair. He gets, he's going to get the most work. And in a close competitive game, he could catch, 4 to 6 for fifth. He could really have a good, he could be more in the 20s, the 25s than in the, teens. But James Cook was the sneaky one. If you think that Buffalo is going to put it on him, because I think he gets the carries. Nyheim Hines is kind of like, I think they just got him to get him. I don't know. They haven't been playing him, but he's a third down pass catching back. I think James Cook is just a change of pace, but he's more of a power runner like his brother Dalvin Cook, who can catch passes, and he didn't catch the 2 that he got last week, but that's all right. He's a rookie. He's young. I think they're starting to get him more involved. I think I prefer him over Hines all day. Now, running back Jamal Williams just seems to just ruin everything for everybody every week. Whenever Swift plays, he seems to score. If he don't score 3 touchdowns, forget about it, But if they get it inside the 10, like the 5-yard line, he's almost lock button to get it in. But like I said, they blew out 31-18. He ain't scoring 3 touchdowns again. I'll bet my bottom dollar on that one, fellas and ladies. So I like James Cook as a sneaky play at 4,400, and plus he allows you to open things up. I think this is probably a decent week to go 3 running backs. So you could put Cook in here, and then you could play an RB in the flex, and then you're paying down just like you would at wide receiver, and then you could pay down in 1 or 2 more spots and really put together a good looking lineup. So next game up, game of the day. Oh no, it's raining. No, that's right. We're at Big D. It's a dome, baby. Don't worry about it. It's all gravy. Now, Dallas, the tale of 2 weeks. This is really wild. All right. Cowboys are also a 9.5 point favorite for obvious reasons, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's only a 45 point total. And but Dallas is implied for about 28. It does look like the smash spot for Dallas because everybody saw they just went on the road to Minnesota, blew out the Vikings 40-3. The Giants just got blasted at home themselves by the Lions. So I think this game will keep people. It'll be more honest. That way, not everybody's loading up on the Bills. They'll be loading up on this game equally as much. Uh, I don't know. Maybe the Giants got exposed for what they really are, just a bit on the fraudulent side. I mean, they don't have any receivers. My man Wandell went down. I was so sad to see that Kentucky boy from Kentucky and transferred back to Kentucky and gave us one really great season. Finally had his one big breakout game and then tears his ACL. He has had a rough rookie season, fellas, ladies. He played in that first game, got injured, missed 4 games, came back week 6, missed 5 games, I guess. And then he gets injured again. Poor guy. He'll be back. Now, with him out, that brings in Richie James to fill in the slot role. And that's a solid play at 3,400. I mean, he's probably going to have a really safe floor as long as it says questionable. I'm not 100% sure on what the injury is. Knee limited. It could be just, maintenance type stuff. I think he'll be able to play, but keep an eye on that because he will be the guy that takes the Wandale role. He's not as good as Wandale, but he's going to be good for 3 for 48, and if he gets in the end zone, you're gravy. But he can 3x without much trouble because I kind of feel like New York's going to be trailing in this game. Barkley's going to be very popular, even though it's probably a hair bit less popular because people will look at game logs and stats and see how he had probably his worst game of the season. And you already see how how bad the chalk busted. There's 2 guys already, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, busted. And then you have obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Pollard. And here it is, folks. I figured it out pretty easily. You might even hear other people talking about it. This Dallas team, if they keep the way they're looking now, are approaching like the New Orleans Saints of a few years back when they had Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram. So Zeke plays the Ingram role, Pollard plays the Kamara role, and of course Dak is the Drew Brees and a little taller version of Drew Brees, but he can throw it and sling it like Drew Brees does, or he can manage the game. I think if he can and he has that ability. I think he's sharp enough. But he has more. He has probably a better arm, but in his legs he can run better. So obviously there. But I just wanted to share that thought with you before anybody else. I thought that was kind of cool the way I saw it because Zeke was the change of pace guy, plunging it in, getting those hard fought 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s, and then Pollard would come in 1st and 2nd down and break the slate open with some long catches and long runs, just like Alvin did. And so that's what I'm looking at there. A couple other thoughts going back to the because my first build did have Danny Dimes, who even in the blowout, he just got it done with the 341, 50 yards and a touchdown. He always has that rushing upside. He can take it himself. So I think he'd be worth stacking again. And obviously the man you're going to want to put him with is going to be Slayton. He's going to get more targets. He got 10 for 86. I was all over him last week. He just missed out on the touchdown. Richie James got it, and they didn't score for shit. They were really, really bad. But maybe they'll be chasing and they'll be better. Teams bounce back from tough losses like that. My one prediction, funny as it sounds, Kenny Golladay scores a touchdown this week is my bold prediction. I think he's going to mix back into the offense a little bit. He still looks like a corpse, but he's going to have to step up. I mean, if the guy ever wants another contract in his lifetime, I mean, either that or just retire, get the hell out. We're sick of your ass with your lingering injuries and your subpar play. Noah Brown's a better play than you, sucker, that kind of thing. But you got Richie James and Slayton. I mean, what else? Galladay's got to do something. I mean, down here, Marcus Johnson is not a bad play, and Sills gets some love too. So I might keep them in mind. Wide receivers, obviously, Lamb was supposed to smash last week, but the running game with Pollard and Zeke took over. So I think if it's a shootout, we're going to see more Lamb. If Dallas dominates, then, and he can play. He's that Mike Thomas, he's the guy that's going to get open all the time. And he's a touchdown guy. He can score 2 touchdowns in this game. He go 5 for 50 and 2 touchdowns, So just keep that in mind as well. Gallup looked like he was getting more involved, and then he quit carping the DMs again, like he always does. He had like 3 catches in the first 5 minutes, and then he ghosted. So I'm not playing him. He's going to have to show me first. But anyway, that's enough of that game. I think we all know where to go there. The final game of the night, New England at Minnesota, I think goes largely overlooked because it's the late game. 2, people are tired. They won't feel like late swapping. So keep that in mind. Save maybe a player or 2 for some late swap action. You never know what can happen in these late games. But Minnesota at home, I look for them to bounce back. It has the lowest total, but it is the closest spread. Minnesota favored by 3. I'd probably dunk all over that. I think they win this game by double digits, to be honest with you. I don't think New England's that good. Minnesota's pretty sharp against the run, even though Dallas ran all over them last week. I don't think that Ramondre and Harris, they could get there, and they would be logical choices. But the guy that I'll focus most of my attention on in this game is going to be Dalvin Cook. And I don't believe that number 1 ranked rushing defense, because if you go and you look at the Patriots game log, okay, that's Indy, and that's Indy before Matt Ryan and Saturday took over with I don't think they even had Jonathan Taylor. Shitty. All 3 shitty teams. Jets twice. Then the Bears ran roughshod on them with Justin Fields. And then, Cleveland, they did a good job against Cleveland. But Cleveland can do Cleveland things. Detroit, $1.99 out of Green Bay earlier. Baltimore 188. I think they can be run on. So I like Dalvin Cook. He's got breakaway talent, and I don't think he'll go. I think a good stack would be a mini stack, skinny stack with him and Vikings D. And you can bring it back. Jacoby Myers is always cheap and gets all those targets. Remember how windy it was, and he still got 9 points. So there's your mini stack right there, folks. You put Cook in the flex, and then you take the Vikings D, and then you take Myers, and there's your stack. I don't, there's other plays. Harris and Stevenson are always in play. Devontae Parker's a long shot. He is questionable, so keep an eye on him. Neither one of the quarterbacks interest me. Jefferson could bounce back. I don't see why he won't have. I don't think you're going to get this 16 attempts, but I think you can get 7 for 115 and a touchdown, no problem. So, absolutely. If you don't want to play Cooks, just swap him out for Jefferson. They are about 800 difference in price, but with the pricing here, you should be able to get just about what you want out of this. So that's going to do it. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe out there traveling. If you're flying, wear your mask. Don't act out on planes. All that good stuff. Shout out to the Discord again. You guys are awesome. Have a great time this week. Enjoy the football. Go Cowboys. And till the next video, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.